everybody, and welcome to another episode of Movie Madness. And today we're going to be talking about Robert Eggers' take on a classic horror movie, Nosferatu. And when I tell you that this movie is absolutely brilliant, a masterclass in cinematography, horror, storytelling, I mean, this movie just blows it all out of the water. It is truly a great movie, and I'm upset that I took this long to make this video. Holidays have been really busy, but let's just get into it because there is quite a bit to talk about. Now, for those of you who don't know, Nosferatu is basically the story of Count Orlok, who is basically, for all intents and purposes, Dracula in this movie. How his obsession with a young woman takes him to basically try to find her, torment her until she gives herself willingly into him. And when I tell you that this movie, it just literally took all these different vampire tropes that we've known and come to know in some of these earlier movies, and it just does it justice and does it so well. I mean, you have an amazing cast. I mean, you have Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter, who is playing Ellen Hutter, is basically the main actress and the one that our Count Orlok is obsessed with. And then you have, of course, Bill Skarsgård, who plays Count Orlok himself. And the dynamic between the two of these characters is insane. Is absolutely insane. I have to give a standing ovation to Lily Rose Depp. I mean, she absolutely did incredible in this movie. Her performance, the way she portrays a young woman who, is trying to find her place in the world, who wants to feel loved and is in love with her husband, who is actually played by Nicholas Hoult, that is Thomas Hutter. And how she goes from that persona and to the being in a trance and seeming like she's having an epileptic attack. And it's just, oh my God, she did phenomenal. And it just to think that she did all that herself, like to get into this character, and just it's hard to explain. You just have to see this movie to see how well she did. And of course, we got to talk about Bill Skarsgård's portrayal of Count Orlok. I mean, every time he is mentioned in a scene, for one, they purposely shroud his face, so you don't necessarily get to see all of his face and how he looks like, which intensifies the fear factor, and also his voice. I mean, Bill Skarsgård is phenomenal when it comes to voices, and he just nailed it with this, because every time he spoke, it was like the room had to get quiet. It was so menacing and dark, and he did a ragged breathing when he was speaking as him. It was just so like creepy, honestly, and it did the roles justice. And as the movie progressed, again, they give you pieces of his face here and there, and as the movie progresses, eventually at the end, closer to the end, you do get to see like the full-on look, and wow. Just wow. It's just crazy, honestly. Now, Nicholas Hoult's character, he is playing, of course, as I mentioned, Ellen's husband, and his name is Thomas. And the poor guy, I mean, he really is just trying to do right by his wife, and just trying to, at the time that this is, being portrayed, like he just, as the man he's supposed to provide and stuff like that. So he's just trying to do his thing, and then he gets just tossed into this world of madness and supernatural. And I mean, I feel so bad for the guy, but Nicholas Hoult is a phenomenal actor, and he did amazing in this role. So kudos to him. I mean, what a hell of a role, honestly. Now, of course, we can't have a horror movie without getting introduced to a character who seems to have some kind of knowledge or professional opinion in the occult or in the supernatural. And of course, it's played by William Dafoe. His character is known as Professor Albin, and of course he's versed in like the medical world, but he's also versed in like alchemy and the supernatural and the occult. And William Dafoe is an absolute amazing actor. In my opinion, he's one of the few people that can never do no wrong. He can never do a role wrong, and he just portrayed this, this man who is incredibly intelligent and not everybody understands, but he has this other view of the world and how he brings his knowledge to try to save, you know, what's going on in this story, and, you know, try to save everybody. It's, man, again, this video never does spoil. I don't try to do spoilers for movies, so I'm trying not to say much, but they really did an amazing job with this movie. I mean, Robert Eggers, I mean, he's known for many great projects, and this is just another added to the list. Honestly, this is great, absolutely great, and I cannot give enough props to the team who worked on this movie, because the cinematography and how everything just felt dark and mysterious and very, like, honestly, a real big homage to the classic movies of which this is actually a remake of. They just did so great. Like, there is a scene when they're going to Count Orlok's castle, and I felt like I was watching one of the old, like, one of the first Nosferatu movies that came out. Like, God, I don't even know how long ago. Like, you could tell that they pay homage to the originals while also giving their own flair to it. And I mean, the angles of how they're zooming in, like how they purposely keep certain things really dark while they keep other things like extremely lit so you can't see things from behind. I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, it was absolutely brilliant. And yeah, that just there's just no words. This movie is a masterclass in cinematography and acting, and, you know, bringing a new version to a classic story while still paying tribute to the original story. It's just phenomenal, guys. For this story, for this movie, I have to give it a 5 out of 5. I mean, absolutely amazing, so great. Crazy that it came out on Christmas of all days, but it was said that it is the second highest grossing rated R movie to ever be released on Christmas. So congrats to the team on that, because hey man, that is absolutely great. As always, guys, I appreciate you guys for checking this video out, for taking a look, and hopefully finding something interesting that you can go watch in the movie theaters. As always, have a great night, and I'll see you guys on the next one.